Today, over 1 billion people live in slums, without access to affordable water, safe food, adequate sanitation and health services. They live in a state of informality. They are deemed illegal and face the constant threat of eviction. Their homes, work and communities are unrecognized and thought of only as problems to be eliminated. Mainstream projections estimate that 2 billion people will be living in slums by 2030, 3 billion by 2050. When it comes to planning and implementing realistic solutions to support our shadow cities, the dominant methods of providing these solutions through both public-private partnerships and centrally planned strategies have thus far had very little positive impact on the lives of the poorest. Over time, the urban poor have developed a deep distrust of promises made and information cited by governments. Unreliable or incorrect information leads to skewed investments, an increased inequality in amenities and services provided, and further, difficulties in catching up with the provision of adequate services. Conversely, when communities themselves drive the data gathering process, they are able to do more than demand a right to stay. They begin a discussion on strategies for a way forward for upgrading, based on concrete information they themselves own and manage. SDI Urban Poor Federations have collected data on over 7,000 informal settlements across the globe. We believe that managing urban growth and creating inclusive cities go hand in hand. It is key for the urban poor to be at the center of strategies for urban development and not be excluded from the political and economic development of cities. With the launch of SDI's Know Your City campaign, we have begun a global campaign for gathering citywide data on slums as the basis of inclusive partnerships between the urban poor and local governments. There can be no inclusive or equitable development planning and investment, nor effective city governance, if the increasing majority of residents of informal settlements remain unaccounted for. Every household, every neighborhood, and every informal settlement has to be counted. Cities have to engage and work directly with urban poor communities to collect baseline data and maps of all informal settlements in a city. The Know Your City campaign is a new pact with those who have been invisible to formal city planning in the past. Slum profiling or mapping has many immediate and long-term benefits. Firstly, it helps settlements develop collective understanding. When communities visit each other to collect information, settlements begin to network. Most of SDI's federations have emerged through such exercises. Secondly, sustainable development for cities requires up-to-date information about all city residents. Thirdly, in times of man-made and climatic disasters, reaching those most vulnerable and often least documented is always a problem for city administrations. Slum profiling and mapping enables informal settlements to be more resilient. Planning dysfunction based on wrong information threatens the livelihoods of the rich and poor alike. But planning and utilizing slum profiling as a tool has a greater grounding in reality and fosters a much higher likelihood of successful implementation. Knowing your city helps the poor to create a voice and a collective identity. When local authorities and informal settlement communities engage each other, learn together, and produce developmental outcomes together, residents become active partners in upgrading their built environment, and they are able to reach many more communities in shorter amounts of time. Data collection is the first step in developing powerful negotiation tools to engage all tiers of government, to address housing development, accessing basic services, securing land tenure, and advancing alternatives to evictions and demolitions. Forward-looking cities prepare for the influx of population and work with citizens to harness the social, technological, and economic benefits of urbanization. Know Your City is a call to action for cities to know their people, know the poverty and plight of their poorest, and work together to bring about an end to poverty. No evictions from land, no water or sanitation problems, no exclusion of citizens, no inequality in your city. We invite communities of the urban poor, NGOs, academics, city mayors and administrators to join the campaign. Know your slums, know your city. For more information, case studies and literature on SDI and the Know Your City campaign, visit www.sdinet.org.